We are always proud of our coworkers who put together compelling stories every day. And while we can give each other fist bumps and hugs in the newsroom, it's nice when someone else recognizes the work.
That happened very recently at the Maine Association of Broadcaster Awards. Our Zach Blanchard took the top prize in the feature category for a series he put together on Maine's LGBTQ+ history, a surprising part of which is rooted in the county.
For many, music is an escape. Dick Harrison found his in Maine.
Well, I didn't come out till I was 27. I was living in Boston, and then I moved to Van Buren. That was a culture shock.
As a gay man in a small rural town right along the Canadian border, being out wasn't easy.
I would joke that I went back into the closet, but my door had louvers on it.
Which is why he knew there had to be others who felt the same way. He decided to form what's believed to be the state's first LGBTQ+ organization, Northern Lambda Nord, in 1980. But they needed a way to connect. So they raised the money to launch Maine's only gay lesbian phone line.
It was important for people living there at the time who just felt isolated. And if they found out that the group was around, they could go to a meeting, they can call the phone line, they could get support.
The original answering machine for that line is now a piece of history in the state's largest LGBTQ+ collection at the University of Southern Maine.
So they raised the money both to have a phone line and to create an answering machine to allow people to connect, to get in touch with them, to ask them questions, to just have somebody else to talk to.
Just years after it started, it was no longer just a hotline for emotional support. It was a lifeline.
And it then became the AIDS hotline for the state. This wasn't a group in Portland who was setting up the AIDS hotline for the state. It was this social group up in Caribou, up in northern Maine. And I think that's a remarkable fact.
AIDS started to take hold of the gay community across the country. And yes, in rural Maine.
One of the first deaths in Maine was a man from Caribou. Scary at first because you didn't know what was going on.
A fear David Simpson knows all too well.
Hundreds. I've known hundreds of people that have died.
Some of whom he cared for in their final days at Franny Peabody in Portland, a hospice house founded by 80-year-old Frances Peabody, who lost her grandson to the virus.
A lot of people didn't have family. It gave them a place to come and pass.
Little did he know, he too would become a patient.
Yeah, I was afraid because back then you were going to die. Back then it was a death sentence.
But David survived and is now living with HIV undetectable. And Franny Peabody is now operating as the state's largest HIV/AIDS organization.
The state of Maine is one of the highest, has one of the highest viral load suppression rates of any state in the country, and we're really proud to be an organization that can contribute to that.
Katie Rutherford, who now runs the Franny Peabody Center in Portland, says that's due in large part to decades of work and progress. Now a test for the virus can be taken with simple kits at home.
So people can order them right from our website.
And the organization's no longer focused on hospice and instead provides things like housing support, access to care, and mental health resources.
And because of that access, people are living healthy with HIV. They have undetectable viral loads, so they cannot transmit the virus. That's really the goal.
As for Dick Harrison, there's no longer a need for an escape to live authentically. He's found peace. And over the years, he's helped so many others find their own.
Once people realize that they know gay people, it makes a difference. You put a face in front of it. It's not just some abstract idea. You know, these are your neighbors and your relatives.
Zach's full series, by the way, is available right now on our website. In other stories in that series, he details how gay bars became centers for LGBTQ+ activism And how the killing of Charlie Howard in Bangor in 1984 helped galvanize the movement.
Plus, he catches up with the first gay couple to legally wed in Maine, and how a Mainer played a role in national legalization. Again, you can find all of those stories on our website. And Zach wasn't the only winner. We will share some other journalism that earned accolades in the days to come.